Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction to read through for Omniscient Reader or Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, chapters 205 onward, and yeah, I'm not sure how many we'll get to, but before I start, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for all of your comments last week. They were all really amazing, really supportive, and helped continue to, feed the fire of me wanting to continue ORV and everything. So, what I'm planning to do, like I said last week, I kind of mostly said what the plan was. I still do want to do things every Tuesday when it comes to ORV. They just might not all be that long, at least for right now. So I'm just going to do however many chapters a week I feel like. This week I'm thinking like 45 minutes-ish. I'd like to do 3 or 4 chapters if possible, even if it's a bit longer. So that's kind of what I want to do this week, but we'll see how things go. And moving forward, I'm going to kind of keep doing that every week on Tuesday, and I'll let you know. I'll post updates if it gets pushed back. I mean, that's something that's not totally unreasonable. Like if I'm okay, I couldn't get the video done on Tuesday, so it'll be up Wednesday, something like that. But I'm going to continue doing that until 220, which is probably only going to be a couple weeks. Then I'm going to do a character ranking after we do 220. And I'm not sure if I'll do a character ranking and also a read through that week. If it feels like that's a little bit much for one week, I'll just, take the week off of reading to do the character ranking. But if I really want to do both, I'll also continue reading. But yeah, like I said, I'm not really in a super big rush, considering we're not too far off of catching up anyway. So then what I'd like to do, once we're past 220, once we're past the character ranking, I will be doing read-throughs still weekly, probably on Tuesdays, but I'll probably take a week off from read-throughs every once in a while to do something else ORV related, because I really want to do those reviews like I mentioned before, or just maybe to talk about some other ORV related stuff. And then once we're caught up, like once I've done reviews, once I've done reactions, and we're just waiting for chapters on the week to week, I might think about doing other stuff other than ORV, or I might think about taking a week off here or there so that I can react to 2 chapters at once instead of 1 chapter at a time. But again, that's going to be at least a couple months, so we'll see when we get there. As far as webtoon stuff goes, I really want to do more anime and manga stuff, of course. I'm going to be doing this webtoon stuff, but I think next week I want to try, I think it was called Practical Guide to Evil that's been recommended to me, so I'm going to maybe try that next week. I'm not going to put it on a weekly schedule or anything. I'm just going to read it from the beginning, see what we think, and if I like it, and again, I'm not super harsh or judgy with series, so if I like it, again, it won't be on a weekly schedule, but whenever I feel like it, I'll do another video on that, and we'll just, I don't think that has very many chapters so far. It's another adaptation of a web novel, but the webtoon doesn't have that much. Doesn't have that many chapters out yet. So I will maybe be trying that next week. When it comes to Omniscient Reader, Dr. Bonehead's going to be starting to read from the beginning. Don't know if I'll have time to be in chat for all of that. And Pyroprima, of course, always does Omniscient Reader stuff. So yeah, that's kind of the update here at the beginning. Not really a big update. I mostly talked about things last week. But I just wanted to reaffirm, yeah, I'm going to be doing things weekly on Tuesday still. At least that's the plan, but I'll keep you updated if any particular week I'll be a day behind or anything, even if the videos aren't super long. So, let's start reading with 205. There isn't really much to say. We mostly just focused on the action last time around with the fight against the Outer World God, and yeah, I guess it's kind of crazy to have 3+ chapters of action stuff with ORV. The character stuff was in there, but it feels like ORV's pacing is super crazy fast. So sometimes it feels like we move on a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see if we continue that or if we start transitioning into even more things this week. So yeah, let's start with 205 and see where we end up. Starting off, we see the tentacles falling, chopped off from the Outer World God. And see, I'm always Outer World God, Other World God, Outer God. I'm throwing all these terms out there. I don't remember if the series has been consistent with the same terminology every single time, or if the translation's been different from time to time. But I kind of just throw these terms out there. And it seems to be It says thwack here, so I was like, it seems to be raging and like striking against the mountains after being hurt, because it seems like it's crying out in pain. But then again, with the way that it's drawn, I almost thought, oh, those are just the lopped off tentacles falling to the ground. But the thwack sound effect is kind of throwing me off when it comes to that one. So this one, splash. That one more seems like, okay, yeah, it's just the falling tentacles. And then of yourself. Get a hold of yourself, you stupid constellation. We see his hands injured and really probably not doing great after using that power again. He shakes himself too. I wasn't strong enough to give him a deep wound, says the swordsman. No, you've done enough. It was enough of a success. So, this is the power of a historical constellation. He cut through 7 tentacles and left a big enough wound on the on the otherworld god's body for me to enter. I have to get inside its wound before it ends up healing itself. Darn it, but why won't my legs move? What on earth is this? Okay, jeez, the legs are gone. And see, I never know with ORV. I'm like, this is concerning, very obviously concerning, but I also think, it's ORV. He's probably going to be fine. Obviously, he's the main character. But how? Constellations of the Nebula Veda are smirking at the hardship you're in. Constellations of the Nebula Papyrus are raising their glasses to the scenario you're in. Constellation Queen of the Darkest Spring is taking pity on you. Damn it. But I'm almost there. And see, that hurts even more. That sucks even more. It's that, man, and you have the details like his fingernails coming off. Like, you can really feel the frustration here. Where Dokja was up against this insurmountable obstacle, was like, I'm going to make my own story, make my own path. And he's so close to actually doing it, to almost accomplishing it. He has taken this insurmountable obstacle, and he's so close to actually succeeding just to face this setback. He finally managed to wound that thing. I wonder if any of his other allies could be helpful, because I'd really love to see somebody else be able to shine a little as well. No, the otherworld god's wound, it's healing. Kim Dokja. We have Yu Jung-kyuk back in his normal form. He lifts him. Oh, is he going to toss him in? We have 3 years running Dokja tossing champion Yu Jung-kyuk up at the line. He leaps into the air and starts climbing up the tentacle and then leaping off the air itself. And I love the static effects and these little like bar aberrations as they get close to the eye of the outer world. Like, that's the wound, but anytime they get up close to like the, I don't know whether to call it a face or not, but the area where the eye is, I love how this starts kicking in more. So, I have to throw you in there, right? Can you do it? Don't tell me. We're going to have to hold, okay, that's him still. Don't tell me. We're going to have to hold a funeral for you again. Why would that matter when I'm just going to come back alive anyway? That's not what I meant. He smirks. Do you remember? The second scenario? Okay, so this is somewhat similar, where he tossed him and he was swallowed by the ichthyosaur. We're doing this again. Now drop me in and get lost. You useless bastard. Okay, he lets him go. Okay, I'll put my trust in you, Kim Dokja. He's flying toward the wound as it's closing. I'm sorry, I won't be able to accompany you where you're going, says the swordsman. and Dokja's left alone. And I think this is good too. Like I was saying, it would be cool to have more of Dokja's allies get their time to shine, but it's nice having more Junhyuk. It's nice having more moments with Dokja and Yu Junhyuk, but also it's nice. Dokja has been the main central focus of ORV, like 99% of what it feels like. The development has been put into him. He is really a heavily loaded main character when it comes to writing and development, and it's been really good. So it's also really good to see this moment of, again, he's so close, he's being put in this situation, and before he had help. He had a constellation helping him, he had Yu Jun-kyuk helping him, but now we get to see when he goes in here, it's Dokja alone again. And he makes it in before it seals. Now we have, again, one of these really nice title splashes. Something You Can't Eat, Part 2. And that's where it ends. Okay, ending with the title splash. That's really cool, and there's a gorgeous panel as well. That was a really good chapter. I like that one a lot. The emotion with Dokja's really great at the beginning with his injuries and still trying to get up to fight. Then we have Yu Jun-kyuk stuff, and I think Dokja and Yu Jun-kyuk are just really well done individually and together. I think the writing, when it comes to the two of them as sort of a relationship, not like shipping type relationship, but you know what I mean. The relationship between the two of them is really a highlight of the series. And then again, the excitement of going in here, and we don't know what it's going to be like inside. We know it's basically within the realm of the outer world god or other world god is basically the dream farm. They're harvesting them, or story farm. They're harvesting them for stories. So we could see what that looks. We could see like some sort of trippy sequence for Dokja within there, and it'll be cool to see. Again, Dokja alone for now and what he does, or much like the second scenario where he's tossed by Yu Jun-kyuk, he's in the belly of the ichthyosaur and Byung plays a part. We could have Byung coming in again because earlier when we had, earlier this same arc, this is all kind of an arc, but the last chapter, I guess, we had all the stuff with Byung and that involvement. So we know they don't want Byung to get involved, but we could see Byung involvement again just to further mirror the second scenario. But that was a really good chapter. That one was really, really, really good. Okay, I get to keep reading though, so let's go to 206. And 206 starts with the title splash. We have Something You Can't Eat Part 3. And then doom doom sound effects. We have a bunch of characters strung along here. Alright. I must be inside the belly of the Eater of Dreams. And those things must be the stories he's devoured all this time. And we have all of the writing sort of, and the text kind of forms these visages and creatures. It's all my fault. It's the Founder's mother's story. This foolish history had gone on for too long. We must defend this land from the constellations. But now, there isn't anyone at Hongik. Where have all the gods of creation gone? Hwanung, oh how I miss Hwanung. The otherworld gods are rooted in the outer universe. Half of the Eater of Dreams is currently connected to the second floor of Dark Castle, but its inside is a space that's linked directly to the outer universe. Now that I'm inside his stomach, there's no way to get out of here. I smell an interesting story, and we hear a voice. The being of an inferior scenario. Why is it that you listen to me? Personal skill, the fourth wall, has been activated in full force. It's another world god that isn't even one of the great old ones. I'm terrified to think what would happen if someone like the Fear of Sarnath, Horror from the Hills, or Master of Relay would show up. The Eater of Dreams. Oh, the great otherworld god. Oh? And then, Who are you? Are you under some sort of special protection? Did he try to enter my mind, only to be blocked out by the fourth wall? I can feel it. All he desires is to consume. The Eater of Dreams wants to consume me. I actually came here to talk to you. Talk. I love to talk. There should be someone named Lee Soo-gyung among the stories you've devoured. Please return her to me. But that wasn't a story. In return, I'll give you a new story. What kind of story would that be? Then it seems to recognize something, as he gestures to himself. Little Constellation, are you asking me to make a deal with you? That's right. Bears do not converse with fish, just as humans do not make deals with insects. You are not worthy of making a deal with me, since I can take whatever that is yours anytime I want. Then why are you conversing with an insect instead of taking my story from me? All a bear knows is to feed on the fish. They do not know how to make their fish more enjoyable to eat. They rip away the scales, gut them out with their dirty claws, and consume them only to satiate their hunger. Just like how I'm not an insect, you're not a bear. Am I wrong? And everything starts warping. When a story's taken by force, the story ends up damaged. Had I not read the novel, I would have never guessed that was a smiling face. If you crush me and take my story for yourself, the story you'll end up with won't be whole. You'll never know how great it would have been when how great it would have tasted when devoured wholly, for all eternity. And then, again, they're taking stories by force, and it ties in to Dokja really well, because again, if you have the full story of something like a book that he enjoys, you can read it again and again for all of eternity and find new things or new ways to enjoy it. And we continue with the doom sound effects. Now I want to devour you. Those drums that kept playing in the background. It's a sign that the Eater of Dreams is hungry. If you keep your promise, I'll give you as much as you'd like. And it forms within its paw. Is this the thing you want? His mother. This story was quite interesting as well. I've been saving it, because it smelled even more delicious than the other constellations that she was with. I do want to devour you, but I don't want to give up on her either. And act like a lowly beast that has no restraint? Do you think humans get upset when an insect mocks them? That bastard. Maybe it doesn't know what fine dining is, since it's one of the lower level otherworld gods. Our conversation is over. I will devour the both of you. And see, I really love the visuals for all of this on the inside. It's like this combination of the eerie sort of, eldritch cosmic horror thing that they were trying to do on the outside. I think the use of the greens and the brownish reds are really making that work well. So it has the sort of eeriness, the otherworldliness, the feeling that it is in like the outer universe, but at the same time, with the nature of it being formed into natural scenes like animals and having this sort of spiritual quality to it, adds just an extra layer on top of that. And then we have all the fish coming toward him. Sure, eat as much as you want, but here's the caveat. You better not leave any leftovers. And he gets devoured. And again, I wonder if getting devoured is a part of, doing what you need to do from the inside. Really good, though. I love the portrayal. I think that was another really, really nice chapter. I think I like last chapter even more because I really felt the emotion from the characters and stuff, but this was really gorgeous, and I love the way that the Eater of Dreams is portrayed. I like it a lot. And again, that's something that I guess you would get. As much as I'm thinking, oh, you probably get extra with this and extra with that when it comes to the web novel, this portrayal I think is something that the webtoon can really nail. But yeah, we get to read more, and I want to read more, so let's go check it out. And I think we're good. Webtoons was acting a little bit weird, so I was scared that I got spoiled that this wasn't the first panel, and it was just trying to load more. Sure, eat as much as you want, but here's the caveat. You'd better not leave any leftovers. He screams. We get the title splash. We have the stories being devoured. And we see story TWSA until that day. Something waters run dry. Oh? This is eat. Oh? Keep going until you get to that part. Is it because he has the story of TWSA within him, and that is kind of the story of this universe itself? Is it maybe overwhelming? Oh, this taste. Oh? And we see the fourth wall. Maybe this is part of the plan. When the waters and sea run dry, something is worn away. The fourth wall is and we have all of these notifications. The fourth wall is reacting to the vibration hitting the wall. We have an eruption of light. Just what are you supposed to be? Jungkook was eaten by this thing on his 136th round as well. But Jungkook didn't die then. Jungkook said, as he saw the Eater of Dreams approach, "Sure, if you want to eat me, eat as much as you want." Then, this is, oh, so the Eater of Dreams is seeing like the stories within the stories? What is this? It is like it's reaching enlightenment. Wait. You'll come to know this. It's getting the Eldritch truth. You will experience the emotions I felt as I've repeated in my life 136 times over. You'll come to know the loneliness, the sadness, the anger, and the hatred of this wretched world that I developed in my dreadful existence. Wait, hold on. It's too much. You consider humans to be less than bugs. Now you can experience it for yourself. You'll now know the pain this bug has been through. Become a bug yourself and feel the weight of the burden that this bug has to carry. If you still think you can keep eating me, feel free to help yourself until you're intoxicated. And we have the visage of the bear popping. The Eater of Dreams, who was born in space and lived for 18,000 years, only realized then that there are stories, episode 207, that you should never eat in this world. Something You Can Eat, Part 4. Man, what a great moment. After the Eater of Dreams devoured Jungkook in the novel, it perished because it experienced all the pain and suffering that Jungkook had experienced in his life. But that's just how it went in TWSA. This time, it's not just the 136th round you'll be feeding on. Do you know what happens when a man lives for thousands of years? Have you ever wondered how painful it would be to keep living the same life again? 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round, 36th round, 47th round, 69th round, 141st round, 143rd round, 148th round. And we have all of it pouring in. Again, the portrayal through the broken shards of glass is so good too. This is the pain humans have to deal with, you tentacled freak. And again, it's playing into where they thought humans were beneath them, but you're like basically letting yourself experience something that is, as you said, beneath you, and all the pain that comes with not having the ease of being a god. The fourth wall is slowly opening its eyes. What? The fourth wall is searching for its prey. So the fourth wall is trying to devour it, as if it has a mind of its own. The fourth wall looks at the Eater of Dreams and smiles. So, fourth wall, inner demon arc? And it starts eating the bear visualization. Alright. These are the stories that the Eater of Dreams have been feeding on. But now it's being devoured by the fourth wall. And then it's censored. Could this be censored? These are the thoughts of the Eater of Dreams. So, Eater of Dreams knows something and is speculating that the fourth wall could be something, but Dokja has to be even more curious. Like, especially the apostrophe S, meaning that if it is really well translated, that means that in Korean as well, it's noting that there is a possessive form of whatever this is. Great old ones, where are you now? Where are you now? The great scheme. And it's completely devoured. The fourth wall has finished feeding. You've defeated an otherworld god. The Starstream has failed to find a title that fits your accomplishment. An unknown achievement has been added to your fifth story. Your status is being re-evaluated before it's finalized. The Outer Universe gods are shocked by the news of the Eater of Dreams' death. The Otherworld gods are attempting to make sense of what happened in the scenario. A few great old ones have taken a glimpse at you. And again here, Eater of Dreams' death, they don't have the proper apostrophe here, so I don't want to grammar scale too hard about the possessive form when it comes to what the fourth wall is, if the fourth wall is a power or something that potentially belongs to someone else. We still don't really know who the author was. And then we have Dokja having a pretty visceral reaction to it. Maybe it's because I had my mind torn apart, but I feel queasy. Is this what Jungkook went through on his 136th round? How terrible. He sees his mother. And we end there. Okay, let's see, how long was that one? Oh yeah, that was only 7 minutes. I'll try to do one more, I think. And that'll get us through, I think, June of last year. So we're down through June of last year, and we'll be on to July next week. So yeah, I'll do one more, or at least I'll attempt to. We start 208 with Dokja and his mother. And more shots there. She's still alive. Wake up. But I think I'm still in the outer universe. Why hasn't this area been destroyed yet? So when it comes to healing his injuries, it's like, does he have to fully die again? Or even if he fully died, would that actually regenerate his body, like regenerate his limbs? Or is there some sort of healing ability somebody can use? I'm interested in how that's going to work. I remember reading how the outer universe was destroyed and Jungkook returned to his world after the Eater of Dreams died. Why hasn't that happened yet? Again, he is in a different situation than Jungkook, but he's still just viewing things using what he's read from TWSA. The fourth wall is looking at you. Could it be? The fourth wall shakes its head with a heavy heart. And it starts swirling. The fourth wall is still hungry. And do we have to worry about the fourth wall eating Dokja? Is the fourth wall doing like what we said the outer world god was doing to others, where it was basically farming stories? Is the fourth wall just basically raising Dokja to have a great story as a constellation so that he can be devoured? The fourth wall began consuming the remains of the outer world. Wait, hold on. And then, you can't eat her. and it pulls away his mother. And then, frick, I told you not, what the frig? I told you not to eat her. Then it starts chewing. The fourth wall smiles contently. The fourth wall looks at you and smacks its lips. And again, it seems to be doing this on purpose to try to drive Dokja the way it wants him to go. I had a lot to ask her. Like it's trying specifically to take his mother out of the picture. I still had many things I needed answers to. Where do you think, or where do the things that the wall consumes go to? No living being that was consumed by the wall ever managed to return. That includes the simulation of the theater dungeon, Nirvana the Reincarnator, and even the Dream Eater who was just eaten. And he bangs against the fourth wall. Hey, spit her out. Spit her out right now. And again, because the fourth wall in writing terms is reality, then is Dokja kind of trapped in the world of TWSA by the fourth wall, and he has to break the fourth wall to return to reality? I remember when I first named the child. Is this going to be his mother's story and this is how we're going to get it? I remember when I first named the child. This isn't the way I wanted to hear that. He wanted to use the letter Dok as in alone, while I wanted to use the letter Dok as in to read. Maybe that's when our differences began to surface. I wanted that child to grow up to become a reader, rather than someone who's lonely. Because I knew that we could never be lonely, as long as we kept reading. That's what I wanted to believe, at least. And again, the suffering, because we are finally getting this story, but I think it's actually such a deeper story moment that instead of having a nice moment with his mom where he saves her and she tells him the story, we instead have her devoured. He has the pain from that, and he gets told the story in such a brutal way here. And now we have episode 208. What makes you so high and mighty that you always find me so laughable? And it's so sad that there are translation mistakes here and there throughout this, because this is such an emotionally heavy moment. Don't look down on me like that. There are plenty of women like you out there. So young, try to forgive him. Think about Dokja. That's just a phase that men go through. Wow, she has a horrible, horrible support system. The worst support system imaginable. I get kill the husband and all, but if you're going to jail anyway, kill this lady. I don't know if that's her mom, a neighbor, who it is. This lady gotta go. Ma'am, I think you should start paying more attention to Dokja. It was hard. Things were so hard for me then, that I couldn't afford to think of anything else. But now that I think about it, I'm sure it was just as hard on the child. Dokja, you stay in there, okay? You should never come out unless I tell you to. I should have left with him. And we see her get hit. And again, I love too that it's not pulling punches. It's I am so sorry. Very, very, very unintentional statement, phrase of speech for the panel given. But I was going to say, it hits so much more emotionally, and I think it works so much better showing the actual brutality of the abuse and all. I think that actually showing the abuse and not shying away from it makes it more impactful and makes it a more important story to tell. Again, I think you can go too far, if you're not portraying sensitive topics in the right way, but at the same time, I really, really, really hate how in a lot of modern art, quote unquote. And again, it's hard to call it art because of, again, censorship, quote unquote. I hate a lot of the YouTube-isms too that YouTubers have to use, where, you know, words like, I'm going to say some words that might get me in trouble, I guess, here on YouTube. Words like rape, people can't say. Words like suicide, people can't say. People will censor all these words that are very, very serious topics, or use silly words like unalive. And of course, I'm totally somebody who's done this too, because for me, it's trying to keep things light sometimes. But I feel like with a lot of things I've seen like a lot of like really serious topics, and I think when people are using like red stuff to refer to blood, or unalived or something for things that are serious, genuine topics, it, to me, takes away from them. And I think we've seen it in stories a lot too, where it's good to be subtle. Being subtle is fine, but so many things try to censor themselves too much because they're like, we can't do this. This is inappropriate, or I hate to say, this will get us canceled, or this will be not appropriate for modern audiences, or whatever, when it's like some of these things are serious subjects, and I think actually approaching those serious subjects makes for better art than censoring yourself, or having to have the like serious subject and then throw in a Marvel quip or millennial writing or whatever to lampshade it. So again, once again, you know, Eastern art really coming through here. No matter what anyone said, I should have took the child with me and left for some faraway place. Why couldn't I do that? She's blaming herself. Why didn't you? You really should have run away. It happened one late evening. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have ended up this way. Put down that knife first. We have Dokja looking on. Dokja, I told you to stay in your room. And are we going to get one of those types of reveals? I don't think we are, but it is a possibility. One of those types of reveals where Dokja killed him and she took the fall for it. I feel like I've seen something similar happen before in stories. I don't know where exactly, I couldn't pinpoint the exact story, but something like that I'm sure I've seen before. He grabs onto Dokja. I'll kill you both, then kill myself. How's that? Let's all die together. What's the use of living when there's nothing more to expect in life? We'll die as a family. And again, actually showing all of this, I think, is really, really, really strong. That's right. Mom ended up stabbing Dad. And she told me this after she woke me up. Dokja, starting now, we're going to read everything again. What your father did was so bad that he deserved to die. This was self-defense. No matter what happens, never forget that you were the victim. Okay? Man, I'm trying hard not to cry. Because again, in all of this, she was blaming herself earlier, and in all of this, she's reminding him that he was the victim. Like in all of their relationship and all of this, Dokja suffered through it. And he looks up at the fourth wall and sees the scene continue again. We're going to read, okay? Everything again, okay? And it starts to warp and distort. Dokja, we're going to read. We're going to read everything again. And he's living through all of these moments again. What? What is that? And again, are we going to get the alternate version? What we just saw was the version that she told him, but we're going to read everything again. Is it he killed his father? He was so traumatized that he was blocking it out, and she said, we're going to read again, and then said that she did it. We're going to read again, and then said that she did it over and over so that he wouldn't tell the truth. Maybe he wouldn't even remember the truth so that she could take the fall for him. And the "we're going to read again" is her like telling the story of what happened again and again, but the story her way, where she did it, so that she could try to make him free of it. Now we're seeing the reality. And it works again too, where they were like, you read the story multiple times and you can get different things out of it. And she yells for him to put the knife down. He turns his attention after hitting her toward Dokja. He slips. And honestly, I would have been fine if the writer just had Dokja to kill him, like purposefully. But sort of like a Shigaraki situation, but I think having it be partially incidental by him tripping toward the knife is, again, I think it softens the blow a little bit, but I also think it's fine because maybe they're like, oh, audiences might think that Dokja's not as, pure. He's not a pure boy. He's not relatable enough if it's fully on purpose. And this takes away like what little bit of moral questioning there would be in if Dokja killing him would be right or not, by having it be partially accidental at least. We have Dokja now confronted with the truth. Or at least what I'm assuming is the true events. Dokja, starting now, we're going to read everything again. What your father did was so bad that he deserved to die. This was self-defense. Something you can eat. Okay? Part 5. And it just man, it recontextualizes his entire life. The emotions, the facial expressions, the art for both of the last 2 chapters was great. I keep saying like almost every time I read, these are the best chapters in ORV. And these have an argument for it. I think there are so many stories and so many chapters that have hit me so far in ORV that I can't just definitively say that this is the best. Not because this wasn't absolutely incredible. I had to try not to cry. I've had goosebumps almost the whole time. But it's not just that this is amazing. It's that I don't want to devalue how amazing so many of the things before this were. Man, that was so good though. Incredible stuff. I think that these chapters really, 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 really nailed it. I think maybe the second one I read is the weakest of the 4, but all of them were great. I think the first one was really, really good for all the reasons I said when I finished reading that. And I think that these last 2 were so good. So good. So yeah, 4 incredibly killer chapters. I thought that they were amazing. And I'm going to end things here so we can continue talking in the comments anywhere else. Sorry if I don't always have the best replies to everybody. Sometimes the best I can do is just give you a thumbs up and a heart because I'm like, I don't know what else to say. What else to say on top of what you said? But yeah, we can continue talking about this. I'll be continuing next week. But thank you for being here this week. Thank you for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of these chapters, my thoughts and reaction to them. Subscribe for more Omniscient Reader, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. And I feel like I'm kind of just moving on to the outro sort of quickly, but I'm not sure what to say that I haven't already said when it comes to everything being amazing. Like, as we were hitting these story beats and how much I respected what the author did so many times, I kind of just stopped and said it throughout the course of the chapters. But I do think this was incredible, and I will be revisiting it again with more knowledge, with rereading it some more, and with taking notes on it when I do the reviews going through the series. Man, that was absolutely amazing, though. And the last thing to say is if you want to support the channel by dropping a super thanks, that's appreciated. But if you want to support the channel and get your name at the end of videos and get One Piece videos a bit early, then hit join down below to become a channel member, or go to patreon.com/HakuOfTheTubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you to patrons and channel members, chosen regulars, Evan, Holly, Amber T. Wooster, Magical Girls, FR Nono, JA and the D-Ban, Sheridan Students, David Langstaff and Folded Ghoul, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Elements, Pate Ardial, and also the Storyteller. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you all so much for being here, for watching, and I'll see you all next time.